Good morning, everybody. And I want to say this to the great Liberty Halls Cat, our first goal-oriented super chat of the day, which doesn't seem to be counting in the target. I don't know why. For $4.99 saying, gonna miss the stream. That's a shame, but for a good reason. Cataract surgery. See y'all tomorrow. I hope so. Or Friday. Well, I hope so. It supposedly is a life-changing benefit, my friend, and according to all of the elderly and mentors that I know that have had said surgery, it is incredible to lose your glasses, and I'm kind of jealous of that a lot, so just keep that in mind. What a great day we have today. It is a lovely Wednesday, a wonderful Wednesday to each and every one of you on March 26th of 2025. There are lots of things out there we certainly have to talk about, and I've already talked about some things over on WDW Pro's channel, and you're going to want to catch it because it's directly related to a story we're covering today on the live conversation right here on the 6 Minute Daily, and possibly something I'm going to cover further and later in the day just on my channel. So lots to come. If you look down below in the description, lots of things down there, 17 stories in all, and potential to do something else as well. We also have obviously a longer stream today, so lots to chat about with bonus time. But additionally, if you look down there, there are 3 videos, recent videos that I've dropped that are, well, not catching fire, but with your assistance, I'm sure they will. Do check them out if you haven't seen them before. One is about the Russo brothers and Marvel's concern about whether or not that was a good hiring plan, and of course one about James Bond being absolutely in a position to be ruined right off the gate with the reboot, and especially with the production partners, and of course a few other things as well, including the media meltdown that's happening because of all the activity of the White House. And if you don't believe that's real, just go looking. I do want to say hello and good morning to each and everybody, but I want to say a special thank you to Ruby Who for the gifted membership, spending her cup of coffee money over here to give somebody the great pleasure of joining us for late night shows. For example, last evening, we watched, what was it called? Hot Shots. That's right, the old comedy with Charlie Sheen. It was a lot of fun. Charlie Sheen, John Cryer in the same movie. That works. It always has. It always worked in the TV show, and I think it could work even today. Lots to chat about, but let's say hi to each and every one of you. We got plenty of you out there, including the lovely Cynthia Carter, who actually received a membership there from Ruby Who. We've got Juliet in the house saying good morning to everybody. Our good friend Griffinda, who gives us today's history lesson. Griffin says, March 26, 1484, writer and merchant William Caxton translated and printed the much-loved Aesop's Fables for the first time. Previously, they were only in ancient Latin and Greek, and you know what? We're very grateful for that. Sergeant Giratina, it's been a while, my friend. Got a stream to do tonight on Daredevil. Awesome. Enjoy that. Curtis Joseph says, good morning. Hope you're well. I am fantastic. We've got Dean Krantz out there. Thank you for your service, my friend. Always good to see you. We've got Butta Biscuit in the house. Hopefully you get a chance to check out today's game stream. Magnify is in the house as well. Kaladin 910, of course. And Penny. Good morning, Penny. Hope you're doing well. Jill's here with a wrench. Look out. And the lovely Miss Pick Cafe. She's hanging out over on the green machine and on the tube as well. I appreciate that very much. Terry Scott is here. I love it. You guys are just rocking the box today. You got Andrew Wordna in the house. Good to see you, my friend. And SFXF314 Sabertooth Raptor. And of course, Commander Ed Straker of Shadow. Looks like Chase Hedges is in the house. Hello and welcome, Chase. That's a cool logo, my friend. And a few other folks like O.C. Dobbins from the Belly of the Beast. Hope you're doing well, my friend. You are appreciated. Although you may have to move out of the Hollywood area. Be mo better, gonna be mo better. And the man himself, Lee Kindler. How you doing, Lee? Good to see you. Let's see what else is happening. Morgan King is out there. What's up, Morgan King? Good to see you, buddy, pal, friend of mine. And Scott Cook. All right, I'm going to figure Discord out this weekend. I'm going to need help. An army of you wonderful humans. Let's see. I hope everybody got their notification today. I know I did. A few other folks rolling through the door, and with much generosity, the lovely Ruby Hoove has been celebrating. Why? Well, Ruby Hoove has been supporting the channel for quite some time. In fact, she's been here for 11 months. I want to say thank you to Ruby Hoove. Special thank you. Listening today, have a great one. Well, I hope you have an incredible day. And I hope Hoove has an incredible. I hope you both have an incredible day. I would appreciate that. I think you deserve it. On that note, we've got to go. Let's count down anyway. Trying to get caught up with everybody. Tim Hayes, what's going on? Tim, good to see you, buddy. RJ McGrady, what's up? Zegler saw Brie Larson and said, "Hold my white claw." Oh, well done. Well done, my friend. I love it. Keenan Barnes, good morning. All right, friends, 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are, whenever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot of time to do it in, 17 stories, and also we got to cook. Except we get to have a little bonus time today. I'm excited about that. A couple things I want to react to if I can find them on the internet. That's the other thing. Have you noticed that posts have been delivering and stories have been delivering from mainstream media outlets? It's not just stealth editing anymore, but you know, that kind of thing has been happening more and more frequently as well. But regardless, let's dive into the story about Sundance. It looks like it may not be in Utah or ever return. They've already tried to cycle it around and move it about, largely because, well, you have to have a political agreement with one particular thing or else you can't host this. And it doesn't look like Utah is going to be able to retain this festival. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of reasons to visit Park City, I think. I could be wrong. Lady Gaga reveals that she's got the Mayhem Ball. I'm sure we're all thrilled. She's going to be in North America, Europe, and the UK, and I could care less. There was a time that I thought that she had depth. I don't think that's true anymore. I think she's a highly compromised human being, and it's a real shame. There are two ways you can go in the music and film industry, and she went the wrong way, in my opinion. The U.S. advertising forecast is cut amid quote-unquote uncertain times in the global economy. Yeah, well, you want to blame it on a lot of stuff that nobody really cares about? Go for it. All I can tell you is the minute pharma advertisements are cut here in the States, there's going to be a problem. By the way, we're one of only 2 countries that allow for that. Gwyneth Paltrow says she might return to Marvel. I don't know how excited that gets anybody. I mean, maybe people get excited because they're going to, go out and buy her candles and celebrate. I don't know. But she, I guess, regularly talks with Robert Downey Jr. and she takes on the Meghan Markle beef. I think it's a solid beef. She's calling out a newcomer to a market that she's been in for a bit and kind of having a laugh at her expense, which I appreciate. I also appreciate the fact that David Ayer still wants to make his Ayer cut of the squad, and he's been working, obviously, with lots of people, and he was happy to reunite with Brad Pitt recently. But Working Man is on its way, so sounds interesting. T-Mobile. Amazon launch, promotional offers. They're going to offer you free MLB TV. Are you excited? I hope so. But at least you're going to get something for free out of T-Mobile or Amazon. I think that's a good thing. It's probably the only way that these streaming services will survive in the future, and maybe even sports. The Resurrection of the Christ is coming out. At least it's being filmed this summer, according to Mel Gibson and his production company. I'm hoping that he makes it the way he wants, because the last time he did, it was an excellent film. And I think that a sequel is important to, well, Christians and especially Catholics. We've got Disney's Snow White fiasco. That's right. Inside of it, according to the Variety folks, the death threats started to show up after some of the ridiculousness that Rachel Zegler leaked and tweeted and stormed into the world with. Beefed up security for everybody, most especially for her co-star, Gal Gadot. She caused a whole problem for her, and she was required to have a social media guru. There's more on this story and conversation in a video that'll be released over on WDW Pro's channel sometime later today, so do check that out. It will be lovely. Speaking of lovely things, Schedule 1 is doing very well in real-time player count over on Steam. As you can see here, 88,000 people were playing it as of the time of this tweet, whereas only 31,000 were playing the recently released Assassin's Creed Shadows. Do you truly believe there are 2 million players for this game? I don't, especially based on these numbers. European Rocket didn't launch because, well, they had wind. They're trying to launch from Norway. I have a feeling Ayer is going to have to rethink where they're launching from. We'll see what works out for them in the future. Supreme Court turned back Steve Wynn's case, or appeal in this case, for defamation because he believes he has actual malice in a story about him, and I don't think the Supreme Court even wanted to look at it at this point. Roundup, Bayer, Monsanto going to have to pay $2.1 billion for the byproducts of this particular product. And speaking of product, 2 months into Trump's second term, you've got the news industry just apoplectic because they can't keep up and they can't continue to spin the fake news without getting called out and facing some consequences for a change. I did a video on that. You can check that out in the description below. 3D and factory printed homes could help tackle the housing crisis. Well, it could. So could, like, you know, taking a shot at Blackstone and some of these other massive holders of real estate investment trusts. That's a whole other conversation. But GameStop's back, and they're investing in heavily into Bitcoin, which is a good thing to bat up their business. And as a result, the Game Informer has returned. That's right. In fact, they recently relaunched on the 21st and tweeted about it all day yesterday. So if you've been looking for a game magazine called Game Informer, it's back just about a year after it was gone forever. Maybe less. Anyway, stick around because in bonus time, we're going to talk about a very special bear. In fact, let's do that right now. Got a lot of sport for today's stories. I appreciate each and every one of you out there. Pickle juice for headaches, says Keep It Real. I did not know that. How strange is that particular piece of fact? I don't know. But I know this, one of my favorite bears, who happens to also be a cartoon bear, and a literature bear, and a traveling bear, who was recently featured in a film, has been returned. And the culprits not only have been apprehended, but they were also chastised by a judge. And it looks like this all happened yesterday. Let's take a look at the story real quickly. RAF, that's the Royal Air Force, folks, engineers who stole Paddington Bear statue are the antithesis of everything he stands for. That's what the judge says when rendering judgment on Daniel Heath and William Lawrence, both 22-year-old engineers at RAF Odysee in Hampshire, had been drinking when they damaged the statue at 2 a.m. after a night out in Newbury, Berkshire on March 2nd. And there you go. The two RAF engineers who broke Paddington Bear's statue in half and then stole it were the antithesis of everything Paddington stands for. I thought it was the judge. So anyway, CCTV footage played at the Reading Magistrates Court showed them approaching the statue before attempting to rip the bear off the bench, then walking away with part of the damaged bear. They carried the statue through the town and into a taxi to their base in RAF Oddenham. I don't know how to say that, so there you are. Heath of Oakhall Park, Thornton, West Yorkshire, and Lawrence of John Street, Enderby, Leicester, were sentenced to 12-month community order after admitting criminal damage. Well, at least they didn't get punished for an offensive tweet that just called out one of the politicians. Anyway, so the bear has been returned, and I will say we are thankful. But it is a story that I covered originally, and if you want to follow or read more about it, you can find it on Sky News. But look, this is kind of a disgusting thing. That's one of those things you just don't do. It's like vandalizing a statue of like a famous president or general or leader of this country. And it's much worse than, leaving skid marks on a piece of pavement or asphalt over some such painting of something. Pretty wild. Let's just say that. Let's see. We are closing in on the super chats for today's goal. I want to say thank you to Lee Kindler for $4.99 super chat. I appreciate that. Let's take a look at that real quickly. Lee Kindler for $4.99, 5 Culture Casino cash. Sundance itself is on life support, but they don't want to have the conversation. Yeah, it's kind of fallen off a bit. There are some other film festivals that people would rather travel to. If you've ever been during the course of the festival itself, it is crowded and uncomfortable. And finding a decent place to stay is really hard and overpriced. It is a huge tourist draw, or was. But you're right. It's overstayed its welcome in a lot of ways. Not only that, but one of the people who helped found this with Robert Redford is a terrible human being that was found guilty of doing reprehensible things. So yeah, not great. Not great indeed. I want to say thank you to the very lovely Angela Richter, who brought her Sumatran tiger with her to gift a Culture Casino membership. Thank you for that, dear. Much appreciated. That means Jeremy Magnum is now a member of the channel for the next month. Well done. Let's see. Swift -1. What's up, Matt G? Somebody asked me a question. The Glankener says, I killed me a bear once with my bare hands in the Siberian taiga and fed for weeks on its liver. Or was it the other way around? Thank goodness for multiverses. There you go. Netflix just race swapped the Knife Attacker. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. This is crazy stuff in this world, folks. And that's why Netflix is kind of despicable. If you didn't already quit Netflix over cuties, take a look at some of the other ridiculous things that they've done. It's very frustrating. Tobak is in the house. Good to see you. Brian Max here. What's going on? We got Fenrir. What's up, Fenrir Howells? And, of course, my goodness, look at all these amazing people. We did get gifties, and I appreciate that. And I also noticed that our good friend Weatherman isn't here today, so I'm assuming really bad migraine and or the fact that Snow White or Rachel Zegler is appearing as one of the stories in the stream, which I don't blame them. It seems like we can't get rid of her. The problem is it's all the media's been covering in the entertainment realm, and it's all that YouTube's been like promoting, believe it or not. Any more of the ESPN NFL network deal? Not yet. William King, I will let you know, but it's a very stiff price to pay. Disney's stock has been, I want to say stagnant, but it's been tipping a little more down, and it didn't really have the reaction that from the annual call, the annual shareholders meeting, didn't really have the reaction with the market that you would have expected. There really wasn't a lot of good news that Disney could promote during the call. It was a lot of obfuscation. And it's hard to write a $2 billion check when you are continually demonstrating that your lack of understanding of the audience that you have in film and television and at your theme parks. I'm looking at a 25 to 35% shrinkage in market share for Disney in Florida over the course of the next year, starting in just a couple of months, and probably being a permanent problem for them in the future as Epic Universe will continue to grow. Disney needed a fifth gate starting all the way back in 2013. The argument was always about capacity, except that argument was also specious and needed to be put down like a rabid dog. Yet they didn't do it. They leaned into that idea. That was very bad. Let's see. Who else is out in the house? We got Cloud Sailing. Good to see you, my friend. And Sam is here. What's up, Sam? Shame they don't use lash in British military anymore. I don't think that would have happened, but it was silly to damage the bear. And again, drunken young idiots. 22 years old, pretty dumb. Kind of like Rachel Zegler, 23. Lots of dumb when you're in your 20s. That article Variety published was an absolute bombshell throwing. Zegler under the bus. Oh, no, I think Disney and the whole industry, I think they now have carte blanche to throw Rachel under the bus. She's been a problem. And in an industry that is so challenged right now, I think she's created an adversarial situation with studios and other actors and actresses. That's a problem. I mean, she's been doing that forever, like with Gina Carano and Jeremy Renner and others. She is not a good person. Not a good person at all. So you're 100% right, Kalikio Ketty. Oh, by the way, today we have That Game Place live stream, and we're going to be talking a lot, obviously focusing pretty heavily on Assassin's Creed, its performance, and of course, some of us have played it, so I'm going to be giving a live review. I'm going to tell you, I'm disappointed. The gameplay is not as clean as you would hope for. The only thing that's clean is the parkour. So they weren't lying. They cleaned up the parkour, made it more like the original 3 games. But at the same time, control systems are nudged enough that they're annoying. It doesn't always follow a considerable path that the other games did. The story's incoherent. The music choices are poor. The first major cutscene in the first 3 hours of gameplay when you're playing the game is that particular battle that you get thrown into as Naoe, and it's surf rock music from the 60s or 70s. It's kind of like they tried to imitate Kill Bill, and it's bad. I'll talk more about it today on That Game Place, but if you guys want to check that out. Cyberella, who? I don't know, but that's a cool name. Prefer Cursed over Nexus. Fenris says, hello. Tax Cut, what's up? Says, streamer, what video game is this? I don't know. The game that's called Schedule 1 has been getting a lot of play. Let's see if I can bring up the new scene. Is it still sharing? It is. Yeah, this is a tweet from Rev Says I Love My Wife. That used to be Rev Says Desu. But anyway, great account. Excellent videos. But pointing out the fact that in response to Assassin's Creed saying our game is out, we know 64,825 was your peak. 31,000 during this screenshot compared to, the peak for Schedule 1, which is 116,000. So, yeah, there's some very, very big differences here. And totally different styles, different types of games, et cetera, et cetera. The 20th came and went faster than I could sleep through. There you go. And you know, I consider that a serious problem. In that not only did I suffer Snow White, but I had to install and play Assassin's Creed. My weekend was this. It was Snow White and Assassin's Creed. And I did play a few live streams over on that game place, and I will be there again today. Jaffo's in the house. What's up, brother? Good to see you, my friend. Kit Kat's here with a Kit Kat. Love that. And don't miss out on those 3 videos that are down there in the chat. What else? Obfuscation. Yep. Adolescence. And the crappy thing is the series is brilliant. I heard, but I also heard there was some weirdness in there, the Glenn Kinner. The true anathema in Europa and woke flicks. So nothing gets solved. Yeah. Or resolved. Keep It Real says Facebook is horrible. I'm not going to lie. I agree with you. And every other post is snow woke. I know. And I hate it. I don't want to cover this anymore. You know, I'd like to cover some positive stories. Like Game Informer is back. It's actually a positive story. Game Informer was kind of a handy thing. I mean, GameStop gave us a magazine and a membership to save us a little bit of money when we were buying games, but also keep us informed about games and maybe make us interested in games we wouldn't normally be interested in. I actually like paper magazines. Kind of miss them. Deleu! It was in the pool. Oh, the candy bar? Good morning to the lovely Tina Beebe. Hello. Hope you're doing well, dear. Multitasking. I read Netflix years ago before Cuties. I found it useless. I think it's really weird. Nora. Yeah, Nora was a hot mess. I think that society has become so in decline. I'm not going to use the words like degenerate or any of those things, but we've had such a steep decline that I mean they're profiling and promoting ladies that are selling themselves. And this is 2 years in a row that the Oscars recognized and honored a film about selling yourself. Good gravy. Luke! What's up, Luke? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah. Hey, Fat Ellis says, hashtag culture was right. Well, yeah, I've been right about a lot lately. I have a lot of people kind of angry at me. The Snow White supporters kind of went a little hard in the paint on a couple of the Snow White videos I did, but there's that. I definitely need you help. I definitely need your help, Morgan King, with the Discord, and everybody else is going to be working on it in the background. So once I get that established and I remember how it works, and mind you, I used to use Discord all the time. I just haven't in a long time because I wasn't going to be streaming or doing anything on Twitch. I probably should have stuck with Twitch, but it doesn't look like it's going to be a business model for very much longer. I have a feeling that it will be displaced. Rumble, Kick, and YouTube are just, beating it to pieces right now. Let's see. I have a neighbor now that I'm a distance away from that is having their roof replaced. I can still hear it. Hopefully you can't, but it's been driving me crazy. Next up, by the way, from here, you're going to go to Midnight's Edge in the morning. At least I hope so. Putin's Cat, this is a solid observation, and I agree with you. Disney should have just put Gina back in The Mandalorian. Mando walks into a room, and Gina waves at him at the back, and then the problem is solved. I agree with you. But Disney's never going to admit that that was a disastrous decision. Promoting harmony between two political parties and obviously the constituents of either apparently is a great crime. And she must be punished by Disney in a state that actually has, you know, some communist laws that are going to help work in her favor because, you know, the blacklist was so detrimental to actors and actresses who were trying to push us red even before they've been doing it recently. That leads me to talk a bit about the fact that Razorfist has several videos on the subject that Hollywood has always been red, and Razorfist is almost always right. So there's that. I should play the first Berserker Kazan. It comes out on PS5 tomorrow. Interesting. I would have to haul the PS5 in here from the media room, and then I would have to plug it into my capture device. I guess it would be a interesting experience, but I'm not done trying to stream Assassin's Creed Shadows, so that might be a possibility, though. At least be interesting. Just another red shirt. Hail, Mr. Shirt. Good to see you. Hey, JB Spooky Reviews in the house. What's up, my man? Are we covering the Nintendo Direct tomorrow, too? I think we're going to have to. As I reported, I think, in a little bit of a story-ish thing that I did yesterday or day before, or even in the video that I dropped, it was a couple days ago. We are getting a Nintendo Direct. So I'll hopefully I have time to make that work. Thursday is one of the heaviest streaming days for me, so it's harder, but we'll see. Might be able to make that happen. Is Tina? No, Tina is here. I saw Tina. Okay. I was like, I didn't imagine that. Yeah, Assassin's Creed and Snow White, new torture methods for Gitmo. I'm telling you, especially the music. They have to, I think they would be required to give you earplugs for the musical numbers, but I could be wrong. Hey, what's going on? Trekking with a Tablet. Good to see you. Hope you're being very safe out there, and thank you for all you do. We need more of you. You're the best. Giving us our things in places where we can collect them. The transportation industry is an enormous part of the success of the United States. That requires the people to do that job, and it's a very, at times, thankless job. So if you ever see somebody that is moving freight around for your convenience, say thanks. It'll make their day. It doesn't happen very often, but it will. And when Apollomes and many of the other folks that I know that are regionals and long hauls and stuff like that, I'm always saying thank you, because OTR is a whole other business, and we've got many folks in the trucking industry that pay attention to us all day long, which I appreciate. Dean Krantz suggests I play good games. Dark Tide. I'm going to be playing Dark Tide with T. Neal, I guess. I don't know. Work on that. It's good to see you. Low Specs here. What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, we got a lot of people in the industry here. Speaking of which, production starts are starting to tick up, which is good. It's going to be some business for and jobs for people. My goodness. It's been rough. Rough. Curtis Joseph says, yeah, I'm tapped out of the Zegler crass nonsense. She's cute, but it's gotten boring. Yeah, she's ruined her career. Like I said, the video that we recorded this morning, myself, Force Light, and Pro, you're going to want to go check out on the WW Pro channel, because I'm telling you, we covered some stuff of what's at stake, what's happened, and why we think that Disney's basically cut her loose, which is why they're going after her now. John the Beagle Dad is here. What's up, my friend? It's so good to see you. And Wolfley, what's up? terrible. Yeah, I try to use the Barclay pronunciation of terrible. That's terrible. Computer gaming went trashy in a last-ditch attempt to survive. Yeah, they've got problems. They brought in, look, even at the most recent GDC, which was like, I don't know, what, a week ago? They let Kim Billar get up and, talk about, social justice craptasticness that she wants also to be pushed by the AI, which is going to take over the industry. We're going to be in a period of predictable, and it'll feel like we've entered a temporal vortex that essentially grinds down into its own form of entropy, because there won't be any creativity and everything will seem familiar because it's just a derivative of everything that came before. That's going to happen. It's already started to happen in television and film, not just because of the... We keep trying to suggest it's just because of the risk-averse thinking that's in television and film. No, it's because they've already been relegated to redeveloping the same cycle. AI just does that in a way that, is faster, more efficient than a human being doing it. That's why you're going to see more and more AI films, shorts, all kinds of things. One of the things I despise the most right now is faceless AI channels on YouTube. Why? Because none of the information can be relied upon. Oftentimes, it's completely fabricated. If you've ever played with AI, and I don't care if you played the GPT or with anything else, including Grok. Grok's the most advanced so far. And if you instruct Grok to only give you factual, citable sources when you're doing some kind of a research, you protect yourself from the inventiveness of AI. Because oftentimes they think you're trying to create some kind of a fiction or some kind of a narrative. If AI already is considering that you want a particular narrative, you've got a huge problem. So right now, AI is being used to terrible effect with these faceless AI channels that are not creatively oriented. Like there's one I support, AI Trailer Home, I believe. They actually super chatted here, and they're really working hard on their channel to create kind of fun stories, right? And out of these really well done animations. But that's different than what I'm talking about. I'm talking about things trying to talk about false stuff, like trying in global conflict and the things we're dealing with now. This kind of stuff really bothers me. Obviously, you can tell. But I mean, people are being affected by this and believing fiction when it comes to international politics and things like that. That's a terrible thing to move into. I wish I'd grabbed a few examples, but I've been getting some of these suggested from my friends, and I'm like, none of this is factual. If you just research it, you go out and try and find it, replicate it, look where the citations are from, they don't have any. So you've got to go spelunking into some of these subject matters, and you're going, none of this is true, and it's being sold to people as based on factual information. Well, it might have been based on something that could have been factual at some point, but hey, this company is producing this thing, and this is the effects or what you get from it. Except that it's not true. The company does produce things, not the thing that's being claimed. I'm being very vague here because, well, I'm not going to promote any of this garbage. I think it's very bad, and AI can be used for good, or it can be used for bad. AI Trailer Home is an example of using it good to create wonderful stories. You can use AI in a faceless channel to great effect, especially if it's animation, it's entertaining and stuff like that. But you don't want to use it for news because it's not news. It's fake. Everything about AI is fake. It is an advanced predictive text at this point. There's not a lot of thought going into it. And when it does, when we've seen it display examples of it walking through things with its large language library, it doesn't turn out well. You know, every single sci-fi movie that talked about, Skynet or whatever, guess what? That's what's happening. So let's not do that. TZ Burton's in the house. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. Hey, my good friend Hoove gifted a Culture Casino membership. Thank you, Hoove. It's great to see you, my friend. I hope you and Ruby Hoove are having a wonderful day. I truly, truly do. Twitch commercials make Twitch unwatchable. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, right now, I'm going to warn you on all of your favorite channels and all of your favorite streams on YouTube because of the downturn in advertisements. You're going to get cuts in the middle of live streams. And it kind of looks like that may be unpreventable by the streamer. You may get a 30-second spot or something. I don't know. But in digesting the creator content information from YouTube, which they actually update us on like once a week, it seems, what they're doing, what focus is, what they're focusing on, stuff like that. They recently ran one about advertisements and the fact that they're going to go back to all the videos, content, live streams in the past and insert automatic ads. Automatic ads may be unpreventable in the future. I'm not saying it definitively either way, but it looks like that's the direction that YouTube's leaning. Why would they do that? Well, because their viewership on television is up and they surpassed Disney, as I reported yesterday, but they surpassed Disney. I think they're at like 12%, 11.6, or on their way to 12. They'll be at 12.5, I would guess, here by the end of April, of people watching YouTube. They will be the largest distributor of televised content, media content at that point. So I'm just warning you. I just don't want you mad at anybody. Discord dogged my phone. I used to love having the Discord on my phone for notifications, and then it became a hassle. Right now, I have, I think, 12 different apps that send automatic notifications, especially when it's messaging related. I get tired of that. And if you turn off notifications, you miss stuff that you actually need. So it's a constant battle. The Glankener says, by the way, you are doing a Monarch's job at Mr. H. Excellent stuff. Thank you. I'm working hard. We really love that show, and we love that you guys love that show. The H-Cast is probably one of the most highly researched and thoughtful shows that I'm allowed to participate in. Obviously, I've fallen victim to being rather lucky with the company I keep, and I admire the people that I work with greatly. So Mr. H especially so. So yeah, between Pro and Mr. H and that Park Place, Jonas is an extraordinary human. You have no idea the extent that he works on things in the background to make all of the shows that he is part of and produces successful. The Valiant Renegade is somebody I came up with and worked with, and very early on, before he decided this could be more than just a fun distraction, and turn it into something that could be a second business and eventually maybe his primary. We'll see. That's the direction I'm trying to head in my retirement. But thank you. I appreciate the sentiments. It's wonderful when people say those kinds of things. I love doing that show. All of that's great. Yeah, I have a feeling that Jed and others, according to Ms. Pitt Cafe, are going to be setting up and helping to get that thing running. I'm going to be reaching out for sure to Morgan King. I used to have a Discord. I don't know what happened to it. I got to talk to some people who still have all that old stuff. But I have a new, I think, Discord account. I guess. I don't know. Good morning, Joanna. Nope, no roofing sounds. Good. That's good to hear. Yeah, look, I don't mind so much, especially when they start after 7 a.m. But I was up early today. I was up at 4 again. And I didn't sleep at all the night before. I mean, I probably got 90 minutes total of rest the night before. So I'm on caffeine and more sleep, which was helpful. So after the Hot Shots stream, I did crash out. So there was that. Haywire. Gina rocks. She does. Sam says, in Disney's defense, their mistakes are so big, they don't have to admit them. Well, that's true. I mean, we can all see them. That's for sure. Razorfist did a food video on how Walt was smeared. Oh, no, it's true. With yeah, I know. It's all because of those commies that were trying to push that particular union at the time. Walt recognized unions for what they could turn into and fought against them. And I don't blame them. And unions did exactly that. They became a political instrument of pushing socialist programs and ideals. And it eventually puts companies out of business and destroys pensions. Big problem. A lot of industries that used to enjoy a retirement program don't anymore because of unions. That's a problem. Because the companies don't exist or the industry's been shrunk here in the United States. That's how you avoid unions, folks. You take your business elsewhere. Unions can be a good thing. The auto industry for a while really needed them. So did, airlines and things like that. But at the same time, it comes to a point where the diminishing returns for the entity that employs you forces them out of business or to seek another place to do business. It's a problem. And I'm not purely, completely anti-union. They just lead to some very big problems if they're not properly managed. And then they're used to elect incredibly socialist candidates to take some of the weight off the union in the form of support. This is a whole lot of... there are way more downsides than upsides. C. Morton's in the house. Says, morning. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. Got a lot of great new folks in here. I appreciate it. There's our favorite Canadian. Not really, but he's one of them. One of our favorite Canadians, Randall Orser. How you doing, buddy? It was fun last night. It was a good time. We watched Hot Shots for those of you who are members. You had a chance to, if you were gold tier or higher, you had a chance to watch last night for the watch party. If not, pretty soon the Culture Casino website will be launched, and not only will there be specialized gear and merchandise, but there will also be access to the members only area for that if you want to do that. Just a different way to be able to be a member of the channel that way, and go from there. Very excited. We've got Neo. Look at that. I love Neo. Gifting a Culture Casino membership. Thank you so much for that, Neo. I appreciate it. Tell me, how is the Matrix now? Have you got it calmed down? Do people have a chance to have a level of freedom now? I tell you what, the last film was not as good as I'd hoped. The original film was great. Linda, good morning, dear. And Lord Haster is in the house. Great to see you. Look at you guys. I love it. You guys just talk back and forth to each other. Oh, I'm not suggesting that AI is taking over, but it's going to start to capture industries. For example, the news industry. I bet most people here don't know that AI has been employed in news industry for quite some time. AP is guilty of using it across the board, and they're also guilty of receiving Rockefeller money, a lot of it, just like they're also guilty of receiving a lot of Gates Foundation money. It's no longer the news when your news is relied and and starting from a particular viewpoint. Now you have an extraordinary amount of bias built in. Obviously, Rockefeller's money is influencing AP, and so is Gates Foundation, especially in the health industry. I'm always like, why? Who trusts Bill Gates on health? Nobody in their right mind. You know, the stuff that he pushes is a problem. He's solving the population crisis through pharmaceuticals. You know what that is. It's a globalist butthead. Anyway, back to AP. So AP's been using AI for a long time, not only in their box scores for their posts about sports and things like that. They've been using it even on in the market analysis side of things when it comes to finance. And I can tell you right now, it's being used in the news industry across the board. You can also spot a lot of AI in the actual news reporting coming from a lot of the news wire organizations, which AP is supposedly is one. They're just basically a bias factory. If you just have to read the headlines. So when a bad actor happens to be somebody who is a disadvantaged person for some reason because of some immutable characteristic that supposedly they've been discriminated against since they were born because they possessed. The headline reads, "Car drives through crowd." Well, when the person isn't of some kind of thing that is protected for some unknown reason, which is actually racist and or genderist or whatever, if you do that kind of practice. But when the person is, I know it's going to sound strange, and I'm just saying, when the person is a pale person, they'll say they'll say the name of the person instead of saying the car. Man drives through crowd. That happened yesterday, or day before yesterday. I think I tried to point it out to everybody on Monday when they were talking about a Tesla protest and a guy driving his car into the crowd. Every other time that happens, you guarantee that you're going to know that it was somebody who isn't, protected, because they'll say car drives into crowd. Because the car did it, not the person. Irritating to me. Anyway, but no, AI is not taking over, which was the whole comment there. Cynthia, oh my goodness, someone paid for a membership for me. Yeah, you got that this morning, dear, and welcome. Good to see you. Tom is here. What's up, Tom? Good to see you, buddy. I saw Linda here. CC, you should check out the E.T. remake by High Level. Really? All right, I'll go check it out. Thanks, tricking with the tablet. Jason Webster's here. What's up, buddy? Now we'll get films in the Bond franchise like Quantum of Solace. I know. One of the worst films in the Bond series, and maybe even the worst Bond, although the last film was pretty bad. Of course, that's also Daniel Craig, who, fancies a dress on International Women's Day. So well done to him. Anyway, Moneypenny. Yeah, we're definitely going to get Moneypenny. Yeah. File Another Day and Live and Let DEI. Yeah, no, you're spot on and well done. Those are great. Quantum of No Solace. Quantum of Solace was still the worst film. I don't care what anybody says. Very disappointing. Lucius Nature Triste. Hello. Lurking while working. All right. Be safe. Don't get caught. T.C. Burton suggests AI can make comics division look taller. It can. That's true. Dengar Renegade. Sup? What's up? Alex Renders says, it isn't about whether AI mistreats you. It's about who's controlling the misleading. Yeah, well, and that's the other problem. There's inherent bias built into the AI models, especially ChatGPT. They have a form of favoritism as well with the Chinese one, which, I don't think I want any part of. Grok, at least I can control where the rails are for the most part. The problem is you can't release anything without rails, because if you do, there will be way too much truth in the world for any of these globalists to be able to handle. So, yeah. How do you talk to it? You mean the AI? Prompts. I use very in-depth and very specific prompts when I utilize AI. It can be a great research tool or assistant. I have 3 different research tools that I utilize regularly through Grok. But I'm always going to go out and make sure not only did it provide me the cited sources, I'm going to confirm that they exist and read it for myself. It's a great starting point tool. That's probably the best way to say it. Yeah, it comes down to being very specific in your prompt and then building upon your prompt. So let's say you want it to do research on a particular subject. You have to first start with the fact that you need it to produce factual information and not deviate or create a narrative. You want to live within an unbiased framework, and then you specifically say, this is what I'm interested in, and I need you to cite your sources. What's great about Grok is it'll produce a list of sources right at the top. When it first, it shows you everywhere it went to get the information it has. And if the information is speculative and you've asked it for specific things, it will give you that it has to speculate on this because these numbers or facts or information isn't publicly available. But based on this and associated tweets, and it'll put the tweets up there too. So because it uses X as a database to comb through, to find and even drag out other sources. Perhaps it's something that's not in the LLM itself, but it also has a feature that allows it to go to the internet and find out information, unlike ChatGPT, which you have to pay for that. So it just comes down to that. You can have a really good set of prompts and build on your prompts as you go through. And call it out if it gives you bad information. Say, hey, you did this. You can't do that. You need this, this, and this. Grok's also really good for art. The problem is who owns that art that you created? I did have Gilded. I used Gilded on the regular and then got rid of it. Or I abandoned it because it's now tied to Roblox, and I don't want anything tied to that. The minute it's tied to something like that, it's tied to a narrative preservation system, is what I've come to call them. If you aren't consistent with the message, or your conversations or information or whatever's coming out of there isn't consistent with what they find acceptable, you could lose your account. And that's also what the gaming industry was trying to do. And I'm going to tell you, they do it at their peril. It'll destroy them. California Kevman says, I fell asleep listening to you to an audiobook on YouTube last night. Right after 6 or so hours, I was only 2 hours into it. 4 hours of advertising must have been played. Isn't that insane? And I don't think you're going to even be able to do that. Is Mexican Iron Man here? I don't know. Anyway, for those of you who are watching now on the replay, I will say it this way, be sure to put a comment down below that says #ReplayGang. I will appreciate that. Scott Cook, what's up? When it comes to gaming, I've bought nothing but indie games. Yeah, that's been something that I think a lot of people have started to do. I have such a deep catalog of games, most of them physical, but even digitally, I don't need to buy more games. I could go back and play great games that don't have any of the modern message crap in it. Same thing with films and television. Propaganda packaged as news. Yep. Networks are shameless, and that's why I dropped the video I did. It got 0 traction. I mean, for my channel at the size it is, and for that video to have just about 1,000 or 1,200 people watch that video, YouTube didn't want anything to do with that video. In fact, right now, it looks like the algorithm is primarily driven by Snow White, and ridiculous stuff, you know. Bad things. Ms. Pet Cafe says, Jed and I would need your input in order to set up the Discord. The questions in one of the emails. I know I'll get to it. I promise. I'm overwhelmed right now, and I will likely not be. I will not be free of being overwhelmed until probably Friday at this point. So, for those of you who have emailed me, I'm sorry. I'm just too much to do, too much to get done. Speaking of too much, I think I've talked too much today already. But I've got videos to make, and I've got streams to put on. We've got that gameplays coming up later today, probably after Midnight's Edge, after dark, which is where you're going to get sent next if they bothered to set up the stream at this point. Why am I saying it that way? Because every time I've tried to go over there and redirect, this is not there. Midnight's. All right. I'm going to refresh. Midnight's Edge. After dark. Apparently typing is not working right now. What's going on? I got this new keyboard, and it is not quiet. And you'll be redirected. All right, well done. Okay, on that note, please head over to Midnight's Edge in the morning. Watch them unless you're going to go watch one of my videos. There are 3 of them down in the description below. If you're watching on the replay, do watch those videos as well. If you can, it will tell YouTube you want to stay with my channel. That's a real thing. If you watch a video or 2 in a row from a given channel that you've subscribed to, you are less likely to be unsubscribed from them. So it's always a good idea to watch a couple, 3 videos from from a channel that you enjoy. In fact, most of us have playlists. Like, for example, I have the 2025 playlist with all of the videos that I've done so far this year. And because of my regular rhythm and pace, they're something that you can, carry around with you all the time. I obviously have been requested to reduce some of the new music that I've put into the background and come up with something a little more calm. I don't want to put you into a coma when you're listening to these, when you're working around the house or at work. So I'll have to find something that just is a little less unnerving, to say it proper. On that note, I will say this. I've had a great time. I hope you have too. And as we wrap up the show, the most important things is don't damage Paddington Bear. Okay. Or actually, just be sure to take care of yourself. Take care of others. Wash your hands because it's good hygiene. I'm going to throw the bear at you anyway, even though we didn't make the goal. That's okay. It's just something to dance about.
Why, hello there, random citizen.
Oh, hey there, little buddy. How's it going?
Have you subscribed to Culture Casino yet?
Well, no.
Friggin'
Oh!
These guys, I tell ya.
Oh!
Dang it, I missed. Why won't these guys just subscribe already?
That hurt.